Avatar: The Last Airbender is having a second wind of success after being added to the Netflix lineup, and once the nostalgia glasses go on, the show delivers just like it did during its run in the mid-2000s on Nickelodeon. However, taking a step back and evaluating the series without the sentimentality, it still has impressively strong story building, animation, and character development for any TV show, let alone a children's show.
Impressive, I admit, but I still think it's too dangerous.
Kids shows have a tendency to cater to the lowest common denominator, for good reason. Casting a wide net opens the door for more kids of all ages, and Avatar has hints of that, but frankly it's still compelling to watch now, for children or otherwise, because of how confidently the plot is laid out with good foreshadowing and development that shows the strength of the writing overall.
That's what I like to hear.
Avatar: The Last Airbender respects the audience's intelligence, and it's a great example of deep storytelling compared to other options for kids, or really anyone who remembers the show growing up, and it puts its tools to good use as it pins down exactly the tone and focus it aims for. The plot and background of the show mingles seamlessly with the creativity and animation style, music, and moral values, and just like Aang himself, Avatar: The Last Airbender is truly a master of all elements. Avatar toes the line between being accessible to kids but not dumbing it down or sacrificing the depth of its story, and it grows a lot over the course of its 3 seasons. It feels simple at the start, just as the story of an iceberg boy and his friends that want to save the world. But over time, the lore fleshes out all of the characters in tandem with the progression of the plot itself. The show doesn't require the audience to overanalyze characters, and that's par for the course for a show geared toward kids, but towing the line between simple enough to understand and well written enough to stand its ground is tough, and that's one of Avatar's biggest calling cards.
You mean I did that?
Yep. Congratulations.
To really appreciate this, we need to take a look at where Nickelodeon stood when Avatar came out. In terms of animated shows, the channel was riding high, with some bell cows in shows like Rugrats, Hey Arnold, The Wild Thornberrys, Rocket Power, and Cat Dog, but all of those shows were coming to an end by the end of 2004 or shortly into 2005, so with so many big-name series closing their doors, it made sense for Nickelodeon to take a run at a show that had more plot connection episode to episode to complement the rest of its lineup. SpongeBob SquarePants, Fairly OddParents, and Jimmy Neutron weren't going anywhere, so there were plenty of proven shows that could supplement something geared for slightly older audiences like Avatar as it gained traction and developed its story.
You've come to the right place.
Well, as it turned out, it really wasn't much of a gamble at all, as Avatar stole the spotlight by averaging 3.1 million viewers per new episode over its 60-episode run, including the series finale that garnered a series-high 5.6 million viewers upon release. To put that in perspective, the finale was the most watched show on TV for both broadcast and cable for the entire week of its release.
I guess we could go check it out.
So Avatar was getting the attention it deserved, but how did it get there? The story centers around Aang, the avatar and master of all 4 elements that's been missing for 100 years, as he tries to bring peace back to a world that's fallen into war between the 4 nations, fire, water, earth, and air, all of which have benders that can battle with their elements using martial arts.
It's not magic, it's water bending. And it's...
Yeah, an ancient art unique to our culture, blah, blah, blah.
Katara and Sokka join Aang along with Toph in Season 2 as the crew aims to defeat the Fire Nation and fend off his personal enemies, most notably Prince Zuko. That's as bare bones an explanation you can get with the series, and it goes to show how much depth comes along with the show that appears from a distance to just be a typical hero's journey. The mechanics of the world and how the elements operate are told in a compelling way that allows the audience to see what life was like before the war, what strengths and weaknesses each nation is known for, and what the duties and capabilities of the Avatar really are.
Understanding others, the other elements, and the other nations will help you become whole.
The background of the series clearly had a meticulous and deliberate Bible from the show's creators, Brian Konietzko and Michael DiMartino. Konietzko and DiMartino both drew inspiration from anime for the show, but the focus was intended to be less on over-the-top action that they saw from anime at the time, and more on drama and morality, with crisp, compelling combat intertwined, and that's exactly what you see in the final product. Incredibly, the entire 3-season arc of the show, including the animation itself, was created in just 2 weeks by Konetsuko and DiMartino, and they noted that while Nickelodeon was cautious about the idea of a continuous storyline series that was relatively uncommon for the channel at the time, the executives had full trust in the showrunners during their pitch that helped Avatar run its full course.
Let's do this.
The real driving force of the show comes from its attention to detail, though, and you see that so much care and passion is poured into every setting, every important conversation, every music piece, and especially every character. Aang battles with his own shortcomings and responsibilities. Katara shows tons of female empowerment and interpersonal connections in ways that no other character can. Sokka and Toph both have to find their own footings in unfamiliar territory. Iroh juggles his past with his understanding of the present despite his dissent from normal Fire Nation thinking. And the crown jewel of all personal stories in this show is Zuko.
How stupid do you think I am?
Zuko begins the show as a disgraced son of the Fire Lord, bloodthirsty for the Avatar as he attempts to regain status from his father, and the mental and emotional gymnastics he goes through over the course of 60 episodes is fascinating and gripping.
That's rough, buddy.
I'm leaving out other great characters like Azula, Mai, and Ty Lee, Suki, Yue, Ozai, Avatar Roku, and plenty others. But the point is, there is no shortage of depth. Perhaps one of the best episodes in the whole series is Season 2, Episode 15, The Tale of Ba Sing Se, which has the characters separated and gives a deeper glimpse into each of their own lives individually, and is so emotional and purposeful. Frankly, the pacing of the show is perfect as it goes along. Once it dips your toes in the water with the beginning of Season 1, it builds to a suspenseful ending in the North Pole that leads into so many powerful storylines that open into Season 2. It gives way to some of the show's best story-based episodes, like Zuko Alone, The Library, and City of Walls and Secrets, action-packed episodes like The Drill and The Chase, one of the best action sequences of the series up to that point between Aang, Zuko, and Azula, and episodes that bring the full package, like Lake of Laogai and the season finale, The Crossroads of Destiny, that somehow miraculously one-ups the action from The Chase.
I thought you had changed!
I have changed.
It lays off a bit in the beginning of Season 3 to paint a better picture of the circumstances behind the eventual attack on the Fire Nation, but then it comes barreling into the finish.
All you have to do now is not mess it up.
The atmosphere of the show really plays into the action too. Avatar borrows a lot of ideas from East Asian culture, including the fighting styles, animation, music, and geographical landmarks, so it's no surprise that the show used plenty of different cultural consultants, and while I can't say how accurately it's derived,
It looks just like them to me.
Thank you, I worked really... Why do you feel the need to do that?
the general aura around the show feels so cohesive. It really sucks you into the world more and more as you watch, and it retains its escapism without losing your attention. On the topic of audience retention, we need to talk about how this show has gotten so many people to revere it so highly. It has a 100% score on Rotten Tomatoes, a 9.2 out of 10 on IMDb, and is widely regarded as one of the best animated series ever.
Thanks, Saga.
No problem.
On the surface, you may be able to rationalize that away, saying it accomplishes what it's supposed to for kids. For example, you could say SpongeBob is one of the best animated series ever, and you'd probably be right, but that doesn't mean that anybody outside its very young demographic is going to really be tuning in, because the style of humor is so different than more adult comedy.
How could a member of my own family say something so horrible?
But that's where Avatar capitalizes on the best of both worlds. It's not just one of the best kids shows ever, because the format and execution of plot devices are the same as you would find in any successful action adventure. The main difference that helps tailor it for children is that it intentionally sacrifices a lot of subtlety.
Not true. I'm giving it my all.
The voice acting is good, and it gets better and better as the seasons go on, but it's designed to be over-dramatized to stress to younger viewers the emotions that the plot and the animation are portraying. The dialogue is intentionally specific, and the humor is not particularly cutting edge, but that's the point. The show works within the grasp of its audience, but doesn't sacrifice the nuances that make it so well-rounded.
Oh no, what a nightmare!
Sorry.
It does a better job building a narrative and expressing struggle, redemption, love, kindness, anger, glee, rivalry, camaraderie, so many emotions better than a number of shows geared toward adults, yet it still manages to package itself in a way that kids can understand. If nothing else, it's a great show for kids to see how compelling TV and movies can be, both as a vehicle for storytelling and as a creative outlet for art, but I think it does even more than that.
Yes! Yes, it can!
I bet if any adult that enjoys TV got themselves to buy into the idea that Avatar is not designed to make the cogs in your head turn too quickly and just soaked in the environment of the show, they would see the whole series through and truly enjoy it.
Well, everything was different than I expected.
Avatar never wanted to conform and become a hollow show with flashy effects. Konietzko and DiMartino designed a show that carried messages, exposed emotions, told a story, painted a beautiful world full of music and liveliness, and they did it all in the format conducive for younger viewers. Call me crazy, but I think there's a reason this show has seen such widespread and lasting praise. Avatar: The Last Airbender accomplished exactly what it wanted to, and by the end, every piece of the show felt refined and mastered.
There's nothing wrong with a life of peace and prosperity. I suggest you think about what it is that you want from your life, and why.
I want my destiny.
What that means is up to you.